And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault and it's Adrian Chenault, and we have got a show for you today. I am super happy about this. And the reason is I've got this guy by himself. I had him with Doris Wood, and who was the other woman? Wasn't Cynthia Simmons? Was it Cynthia Simmons?
Yeah.
So anyway, I had them, but they're great. But I had too many guests that day. And all I wanted to do was talk to my buddy Ron Henley about the history of this profession. If you're looking over his shoulder right now, you can see this incredible archive that he's got. And he has got a giant project coming down the road. And it is it's unbelievable how exciting that is to me. And how you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited too.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
How about next week? Who's our guest?
We have the great Armand Puyo. Unbelievable.
You're not serious.
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
Yeah,
that'll work.
He's the real deal.
Are we off the air?
No, we're good.
Okay,
just on the monitor.
Oh,
so our monitor went down for a second there, Ron. So we went, I hope we're not in trouble.
I thought the FTC had come and gotten us and turned us off. So you guys, it is so exciting. It's so unbelievable to have watchers from all over the world. I can't believe it. India, Mumbai, India. People, you've got fans everywhere. And I understand that because your wealth of knowledge about this profession is so big. And what I want people to understand out of this show is the scope of what you know, the scope of what you've got, and the scope of what you've got planned, because it is truly earth-shattering. And it all started when I read your book. I read your story in Larry Thompson's book. And I fell more in love with you that day than you'll never know. And then you've been on this show and such a fan every week, like clockwork. So we're in love with you, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. So cool. And John Hammock's jumping on. There's just so many amazing people who have been in the foreground and in the background and making this profession a great place to be for so many years. And it's just cool seeing it come full circle like this.
And what's so funny is these guys are really the backbone of what has been great about our profession for years. And they talked about Bill Bailey. They talked about, he's going to talk about a lot of names that I want you guys to go back and look at to understand the richness of what these guys know. I had been messing around with the DRA, the Distributor Rights Association, the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, the MLMIA. But until I actually got into this little secret society with Larry and Taylor and Weisberg and Harris Williams and all these guys, and actually saw how long you guys have been really preserving what is so great about what we've got, I'm just blown away. And I first want to thank you, Ron Henley, and second, welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to be here.
Well, let's talk about you for a second, because, you don't look old enough to be such an archivist. How on earth did you end up with all those rich misfits that you hang around with? How did you end up being the smartest, most genuine, most documentable guy of the whole batch? How did that happen?
Well, I'm 57 years old, and I've been around the network marketing profession for 52 years. Now, that math doesn't add up, right?
Wow. Why?
Yep. My dad and my grandpa had a network marketing business in 1968 when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And Zig Ziglar was the company trainer. I got to meet him when I was 5 years old. And my dad and my grandpa built the largest organization in that company in the Southeast. So Zig would fly down from fly over from Dallas, Texas to Atlanta and do special trainings for my dad's group. And back then, I was a little 5-year-old kid, but I wanted to be involved in the family enterprise. So I would help set up the room for the meetings, take coats, serve snacks, anything I could do. Now, here's the kicker. Zig Ziglar being the corporate trainer, and this is going to be kind of a show and tell because I've got some cool memorabilia I'm going to be showing you along the way.
Pumped up about this.
Yeah. Now, this record right here, this is my grandfather's record.
Wow.
That Zig Ziglar that had at the time. It was called Biscuits, Fleas, and Pump Handles, but it eventually became See You at the Top. This is the original. recording, and my grandpa would play this all the time. And what do 5-year-old kids do when they hear something over and over and over? They start repeating it, right? Well, it got to be where I would just, not even thinking about it, I would just start saying the record. I would just start repeating the record. So my dad and grandpa at 5 years old used to put me up in front of the room at their meetings to give little zig talks.
Wow.
It was me repeating what I had heard off of this record. So that was a novelty. It was a great recruiting tool. Nobody had ever seen anything like that before. So, yeah, it was really fun. So I got started when I was 5 because of my dad and my grandpa. So at 5, Zig poured all this great stuff into me, and all the people that I got to meet, I got started at 5.
So many people love you behind your back. I am just telling you, how did I not know you? Did you know me? I mean, this is just pissing me off that it's so crazy. And, you know, I fell in love with you. I put you on that show, and I knew you were going to bring the life to it. And since then, I've just watched you be so genuine and so loving, and your circle of influence is so vast. I just can't believe it. And I want to thank you for being you, because there's just one of you out there, man. You are the true servant leader, and we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate that. Everything got started because of what's behind me here.
Yeah.
Being, collecting all this stuff. Now, this is what the name of the company that my dad and grandpa were with was called Automotive Performance.
Wow.
And it was an ethanol-based product that you actually strapped this, back in the old days, you had a lot of room in your engine compartment, and they were gearheads. So you would strap this thing down in the fender well, and it had some kind of ethanol mixture in it that would give you better gas mileage and improve your horsepower and things like that. So that's how that got started. But when I was 14, that's when Jim Rohn came into my life. And at 14 years old, he is really the one that got me started on all of this, because the first time, and I've got this is how I met Jim Rohn. This tape set.
Wow.
When I was 14, my dad and my mom were looking for a new house. So me being bored, I went over to the bookshelf because I saw some books. I love to read. I'm going through the books, and this tape set kept sliding forward. I'd push it back. It kept sliding forward. One time I hit it too hard. It bounced off the back, hit me in the head, popped open, and the tapes went flying. So me thinking, oh gosh, I broke this guy's stuff. I start picking up the tapes, checking for damage, and then I started reading the titles. And the titles are attitude, personal development, communications. And about that time, they were wrapping up. So I went up to the guy, it was one of my best friend's dads, who was the realtor, and I said, hey, can I borrow this tape set? He said, how old are you, kid? I said, I'm 14. Why? He said, you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. So I took him home, and I locked this was July the 15th, 1978. That's when this happened. I locked myself in my bedroom and listened to this thing over and over and over that weekend. I must have listened to the entire thing 10 times. And I didn't want to give it back. So I told the guy, I said, what can I do? Can I mow your yard? Can I wash your dishes? What can I do? I want to keep this thing. He said, kid, if you want it that bad, just keep it. And I did, and I've still got it. Years later, Jim signed them for me.
Oh, holy mackerel.
He said, that's the first time my message actually hit somebody. I got a big kick out of that.
Oh my goodness. So how you said like July 15th, 1978 or whatever date you said, like, did you keep how do you have all this stuff so pristine, so straight in your head? Nobody does that.
I've been keeping notes. Every day I've been writing something down. And then in 1985 is really Franklin came out with a day planner, the Franklin Day Planner.
Yeah.
And I bought that in 1985, and I've kept those ever since. Plus, Jim said get a journal. When you learn something, write it down. So I've been writing them down all these years.
Oh my gosh. That is unbelievable. You are the pioneer contact mapper of all time. We are going to have to give you a sweatshirt. So he's an OG. And you know what we love about you is the fact that you are preserving something. And, you know, whether it was Doris Wood, John Hammock just told me that he moved houses. And as he moved houses, they tossed away so many of his old, you know, we've got boxes of stuff. And we heave it out the window, and then somebody goes, "No, why did you do that?" But I did it. I've got an attic full of old Amway tapes. I used to buy them on eBay by the thousands, and I still have them all. And I've moved them through 3 residences, and people want to kill me. But I'm telling you what, it's a part of history, number one. And I learned so much. I mean, you know, on this, you know, you've got Taylor Thompson, Larry Thompson, Dan McCormick, legends of network.
Awesome people.
Yeah, what's so great about that is those are the people that you rub shoulders with, not me. I can't tie their shoes, but you are one of those guys that those people look up to with reverence. And people need to understand that all this complete rich history is available through Ron Henley. How do people figure out and get hold of you?
Well, right now they can go to networkmarketinghistory.com. That's where and if you go to mlmhistory.com, I went ahead and grabbed both domains. Either one of them will send you to a main page where everything is gonna be happening. So that's the best, because you can sign up for a newsletter there, and you'll constantly get updates on all the projects we got going on. Plus, I've got something to announce on this show that is huge.
Well, don't do it.
That one person knows about.
I know, but they're all going to stop listening once you tell them. So
it's going to be at the end.
We're going to do it at the end.
Yep. Believe me, you want to hang around for this, because this is going to cause jaws to drop.
I know, and I'm looking at I've already got 5 text messages already. This is playing like I'm looking. Oh, I know the secret. Boom, boom, boom. It's so hilarious. So listen, you little posers, stick around for a little while. That's the truth. That's what we all do, because we have to be Joe Cool.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh, I can't believe you guys.
All of this back here, from the time I met, first heard Jim Rohn, he kept talking about Earl Schoaf. I learned all this from Earl Schoaf. So I thought, well, heck, maybe if I learned from Earl, I could get more insights into Jim. So I started in 1978 looking for Earl Schoaf, not knowing he had died in 1965 at that time. This was way before computers and way before internet and all this information was available. So I started calling people, talking to people, making more and more connections. And I just connected with people in a unique way that normally wouldn't talk to anybody. But the history aspect of it, them wanting to find out from everybody, and it's been a wild ride. And
all right, we got to take a break. So after this, I'm looking at my text right here. Please tell us how you met Larry and his daughter, Taylor. We'll talk about the break. We'll be back right after this. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show.
Attaboy.
That was a pretty good timing joke. Hello, Larry and Taylor. Hello, Dan McCormick.
That was good.
You crazy maniacs. Hammock, it's good to see you. Doug Weed. Forgot about him, man. That guy's a political son of a gun.
Oh, yeah. Amway legend.
Yeah, Sherman Unkerfer introduced. No, I knew him long before that, and then Sherman brought him back in my life. But yeah, it's just amazing how many people who are unbelievable have had some sort of connection with our profession. I was just talking to the great Bob Bodine from The Power of Who, and he's hooking me up next week with Tom Ziegler. I don't know if you've got a big relationship with him, but we'll have him on the show here pretty quick.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's coming in the next.
Tom's a busy guy. I'm trying to contact him, and we've messaged back and forth a few times, but I'm hoping to develop that, because I've got some questions about his dad I want to ask.
I'll get that done.
Probably only he can answer.
I will get to be in the middle of that transaction, I promise. All right, what are you doing, Contact Mapper?
You know, it's just I was thinking about this as we were talking about Larry and about Ron, and you know, it's so these mentors and these people who there's such a foundation, there's such a rich foundation inside of this. And what I love is seeing some of the people who are leaders in the profession and super relevant right now, like Eric Worre, like Ray Higdon, who really have that deep respect for the foundations and the respect for some of that rich history. And I remember we were at Ray Higdon's event like a year and a half ago, and he had Larry and Taylor there teaching for his not the inner circle, but the one that's the super exclusive one that is only like 20 people that he takes as coaching clients a year.
Top Runner Club.
Thank you, Top Runner Club. Look, see, he knows.
Well, he's got it written down. He's a contact mapper.
So, but he, we're like, we were asking him about Larry, and he goes, man, I have learned more from Larry Thompson about network marketing than there's such a deep, profound respect for that. And I just think that's so important as we are carrying these messages forward. What we're talking about contact mapping right now. And what we have done is taken those old principles of networking that were pioneered. You talked about, Covey, you talked like the old principles that have in some ways maybe fallen out of style, but they never go out of style because they're the things that work. And what we have done is try to take those things and bring them into the modern age with an app, with a system that makes it easy for you to do, that melds it with social media and has you be able to be that kind of world-class connector, right?
Yeah, because very few people have mastered the art of remembering like Ron Henley. There's nobody that has. But we all want to channel our inner Ron Henley, and we all pretend we're Ron Henley, but we're absolute posers because we never really paid attention to it. And the bad news about Ron Henley, it's all of his data is in a newspaper, in a new notebook somewhere, and he's got those notes. What Adrian was able to do was transpose all those notes into your phone, so when you meet somebody, you are absolutely cooking with gas instantly because you can Google your brain, and we train those skills at a level you wouldn't believe.
That's exactly right.
Google your brain. I like that.
Well, I'm trying to teach you something, you old dog, new trick.
That's right.
Go ahead, we're going back.
All right. So you want to learn how to Google your brain. You want to learn how to remember people in a way you've never been able to do it before. And you can go and try it for free right now. So just go to contactmapping.com/free. Go take it for a test drive. You will thank us later. I promise.
Way to go.
We're back.
And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. That's the Network Marketing Leadership Show with my little boy, Adrian, and Ron Henley. I want to get right to it. So Larry and Taylor Thompson, Jim Rohn. I mean, you guys are all joined at the hip. And before we even go there, everybody, I want you to notice something. This guy puts no attention on himself. He is the absolute center of the wheel. Everything goes out from Ron Henley, but you never hear him blowing himself up. He edifies everybody like nobody I've ever seen before, but it all goes back to him in the center of the wheel. Well, it's unbelievable to me. And I love that about you. And it's such a lesson we can all learn, because the more attention you put outward, the more that comes towards you. And here is living proof of that. And please pay attention to him. So tell us how you met those two absolute world changers.
Well, I met Larry. Well, I didn't meet Larry in person until 82. But I joined Herbalife May 1st, 1981 in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was that night, the Millionaire Training had just been recorded like 3 months earlier than that. And the tape that I got, and I told Larry, I apologized up front. I said, but the tape that I got was a Memorex. Somebody had copied it, and because they couldn't, I guess the demand was so high, they couldn't get enough from corporate. So they were just trying to get the message out. But look at this right here. See if we can get that.
Wow.
Brand new in the shrink wrap.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I've
worn out so many tape sets, it's not even funny. But May 1st, 1981, I was 17, and I started my own network marketing journey because I already knew about it from my dad and my grandpa, learning from Zig and then learning from Jim, and I just took it forward with that. And that's how I met Larry, and I didn't meet him until corporate school in 82, I think it was, in person. So, and then Taylor I met when Larry and Taylor came to town for an event. I can't remember exactly how many years ago it was, but I met her then as well. So she's just amazing, an amazing human being. And her and Larry together, Holy smokes. You talk about the perfect pair.
Well, they're more relevant in themillionairetraining.com. You probably, let's put that up if you get a chance. You need to go there too.
Yes.
That was quick. Yeah, so thank you. I feel like
That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, there's nobody that can type that fast. That was just pretty doggone cool. Thank you, Jason, our unbelievable producer with Marianne Niehaus. But, all of you, every one of you just a huge debt of gratitude toward these pioneers that kept us in business and that have kept the memory alive of how hard it was, but how rich it was even back then in the early 80s, the 70s, the 60s. God bless Rod Cook. Here's another pioneer that fought through it for so many years, and we just lost him this year along with Rob Rennick and a lot of really, really good people that, a lot of the old pioneers are finally dying off, and it's heartbreaking for me. But are you married? I was going to ask you that.
Yes.
What does your wife think about you, you pack rat hoarder?
She gets confused by it sometimes, but she loves me enough to let me be.
That is so cute. I would last 5 minutes. Unbelievable. That is so.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, she's. I'll be lost in the tall grass without her. There's no doubt. She's an amazing lady. I'm the first to admit I married above my pay grade.
Yeah, well, man. But look at the life it's provided you to have people come. It kind of brings your grandfather and your dad back to life every time you walk down in the basement and see those archives and listen to a tape and get to see exactly what the world was like back then and what it's like now, and how much it's just exactly the same with this clubhouse and everything going on. It's gone full circle, and here we are again. Yeah, what is that?
This is the company that my dad and grandpa was with in 1968 out of Dallas, Texas. And if you look on the back there in the middle, you'll see Zig.
There you go.
Mackerel. That's just crazy.
Cool.
Unbelievable.
Just all that history.
That's the stuff that I listened to, and I just kept repeating it, and it stuck with me all these years.
That is.
With the search for Earl Schoaf, when I heard Jim talk about Earl on those tapes, it just really, I've kind of been a history guy anyway. I excelled in that in school. And I got started on that kind of stuff. And the search for Earl, the search for Schoaf, is what culminated in all this. Since 1978, people have been giving me stories. They've been giving me their personal memorabilia to go along with the stories. And I've just been collecting it all this time.
Man. Well, we're in awe of you. And we're going to talk about what they're going to do with all this information, how it goes out of his basement and into your life, and the big plan that's at play. And I love these guys. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show on the Genesis Communication Network. Ted Anderson's had us on for free for 12 years. So that's just a miracle. It should have been bankrupted me by now. I love that guy. I love you. We'll be right back. And Angel Fletcher, holy mackerel.
Moly. How cool is that?
Sean Murphy.
And
by the way, Angel Fletcher.
I got to tell you a funny story about Sean Murphy real quick. When we were at Ray and Jessica's event in 2018, it was during a break, and we were all at the little bar and grill thing there talking. I was telling them about some of this stuff. And when I told him about doing the Zig Talks when I was 5 and then meeting Ron at Jim at 14, he said, well, heck, by the time you met Jim Rohn at 14, you were already a seasoned pro.
That's awesome.
That was a great story.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Art Meekin. I was trying to pull names out of my head. Tony Canuli, people that we lost this year is heartbreaking to me. But with what these guys are doing, their memories live on. And just preserve that. What do you got, MrContactMapper.com?
So I'm excited, especially we got Angel here. She's Ray's biggest fan. But so on this Thursday, in a couple of days at noon Eastern time, we have a really, really cool webinar coming up with Ray Higdon talking about how to build an unshakable mindset in your business that leads to all kinds of greater success in everything that you do. And, we're bound in anything that we do to face obstacles. You're going to have to power through stuff in order to be an entrepreneur. And Ray is one of the best people that I know at showing you how to cultivate a mindset that allows you to overcome anything that keeps you moving forward, that keeps you taking action. And it's going to be awesome. I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be based on their book that came out recently, Time, Money, Freedom. And we are going to have a lot of fun, aren't we?
It's going to be unbelievable. And, you take a look at the two people that have unbelievably impacted social media and network marketing. It's Higdon and Eric Worre. And what do they have in common? Daily videos that they did forever. And I was listening to him and Marianne, Marina Worre, I'm a contact member, Marina Worre, who's going to be on the show on the 27th, by the way, talk about when they first started doing those videos every day. They had no clue what they were doing. Their hands were shaking. There was nothing there, but they forged through it. And every one of you watching, just get consistent. I mean, those little 2-minute Tom Talks that I do every day that, people are actually starting to watch those damn things. It's amazing.
That is so funny.
Ray's done a video every day, I think, for like 11 years or something.
Crazy numbers.
Crazy.
Yeah, 11-year overnight success.
Yeah. and not only that, but he's so good now, but he wasn't good at the beginning. And I think that's one of the things that you got to remember is you're looking at somebody who has whatever that is, 3,000, 4,000 repetitions of doing this. Obviously they're going to be good by now. You got to start somewhere. You got to be in action. And so that's what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. It's at noon Eastern. If you go to contactmapping.com/webinar, you can grab a seat for that. And yes, there will be a replay on. That's always the question that gets asked. So if you can't make it live, don't worry. You can grab your seat. Go ahead and register. We'll send you the replay right afterward, and you can catch it that way. But it is going to be awesome. I'm so excited for the energy that's going to come from it. I'm so excited. We always have some special surprises on those webinars, and that is one of the things where it definitely is in your advantage to be there on live with us. You'll have some opportunity to take advantage of some cool stuff.
I signed up and I'll be there.
Awesome, man.
Do you have Angel Fletcher scheduled yet, Marianne? Put that. We got to get her on the show.
Get her back. Yeah.
Yes, Angel is incredible.
You should see her on Clubhouse. She's been there like an hour and she owns it because it's all heart there and she is all heart. And all of you, just please learn from these people because what they have in common, every one of these leaders is their love of humanity and other people and serving. And if you can become that, you win. And the way that you become that is remember. Follow up is a terrible word. Nobody likes to get followed up on, and nobody likes to follow up. But everybody loves to be remembered and to remember. So master that, just like Ron Henley just taught you. I mean, he's a virtual dictionary. It is so exciting. We're coming back. This is the commercial, and I don't even know, contactmapping.com/what?
Webinar.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, you guys, we're back. And we're back. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Ron Henley, Adrian Chenault, Tom Chenault. We are live from Longmont, Colorado. And this is a big day in our lives because this guy is truly a historian. And he's a non-agenda driven historian. I just have never met anybody like him. I talked to him on the phone. There's never an ask. It's always, how can I serve you? How can I serve the profession? He is what I want to be when I grow up, even though he's 12 years younger than me. And I'm in awe of you, Ron Henley, and I love you. And I need you to know that.
Well, I love you back, buddy.
All right. So we got a little time here, and I want to dig into your history a little bit more. So you joined you joined Herbalife in 1981. You really got yourself into the profession.
Yep.
And how did you, where along that way did this collection and this sort of urge to document the profession as you went along and built your own business, where did that start for you?
Well, it started, my dad and my grandpa used to keep a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And, I got some of the stuff from them, especially from their company, and so some old Zig stuff. And, like I said, I was the kind of guy, if you're ever riding around with me and we pass something where something's being built, and you say, well, I wonder what's going on over there. The next time you see me, you're going to know, because I'm going to go find out.
Wow.
So, but it's it just seems to come to you. It just seems like this was my calling in life. I can't explain it. There's been so many serendipitous moments that should not have happened that did, meeting people at key times when the events that were shaping the profession were happening, getting their take on it, getting their memorabilia from that. And it's hard to explain how it all came about. It's just a blessing. It's a calling, and I'm proud. I mean, I can't not do it.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. This is so much a part of who I am. And it's a way for me to serve the profession in a unique way. A lot of people connected with me over the history, like I said, that normally wouldn't give you the time of day. Now, when Jim passed away, Success Magazine held a public memorial for him out in California. And I don't know if you remember, but one of the speakers there was Brian Tracy. And Brian's talked about Jim and said Jim was an introvert extrovert, which is very true. Now, what that means is he's very quiet until he has to be on stage or something like that. Then he becomes an extrovert. Jim would be the kind of guy at a party that would go over in the corner and be holding a soft drink or something and watch everything else happen. He was an introverted person. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I don't know how all this happened, but I walk out into this and I'm just totally amazed, and I'm grateful, and I want to share it with the world, which is why I started the NMHS, the Network Marketing Historical Society.
I will bet you that there are plenty of people watching this. I mean, John Milton Fogg's 7,000 square foot home up there in Virginia on the mountain with that huge lawn, I will bet you that thing is crammed with history of network marketing.
It's everywhere.
Yes.
People don't know what to do with it.
They don't know what to do. So take pictures of what you have and email them down to Ron so he can figure out a way to get that to Atlanta for this big idea he's got. Because don't throw that stuff away, because you could be throwing something away that you think is worthless, that is priceless. Right, Ron?
It could be key, and you don't know it. That's what happens. A lot of these people that have been collecting this stuff for years, they hold on to it thinking that some opportunity will present itself so they'll know what to do with it. And then they pass on, and their kids don't have any more idea than a goat what to do with this stuff. So they chuck it in the landfill because they don't know. We need to put an end to that.
No doubt about it. And I'm as guilty as anybody, because we've moved a couple of times here recently, and there's all kinds of stuff. And I just take that file, don't even look inside of it, and file it. And I'm a collector of things. I'm to my wife's dismay. And she just commented about how my hair looks. That just always. And then you get all self-conscious.
A third producer.
Yeah. So then you start getting in your head and wondering what the hell she's talking about. And my eyesight's so bad I can't even see the screen, much less.
You're great. Don't worry
about it. I look nice too. Gee, many Christmas.
So, but it is. It's so important, and it's so easy. You know, you have no idea these old tapes or whatever. You go, nobody listens to cassette tapes anymore, or whatever it is. You know, nobody could possibly have an interest in these things. But if we, you know, there's stuff floating around that if we don't find a way to preserve it, and if we don't have a way to pull it together in one place where we actually can, you know, make something out of it, that a lot of the, you know, the story of this profession needs to be told. And, you know, this is really the first time that it's from a memorabilia or an artifact perspective that this is being done, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I got a really interesting story that explains exactly what I'm talking about key pieces that could have ended up in the trash.
Yeah.
I've got a 35 millimeter film, the only known film of Errol Schoaf, teaching the Abunda Vita pay plan in 1957. A guy that I had met was going through a yard sale after this guy had passed. He collected old movies, and they were just selling them at this yard sale. Well, he opened up this box while he was going through the stuff, and he found a note on this reel. It was a decorative metal reel that said, the guy who passed away kept notes, and it said something like, purchased for $1, the 35 millimeter movie, purchase for $1, keep the decorative reel, toss the film. The guy had no idea what it was. And when he pulled it out, and it says, the leader tape of it says Earl Schoaf of Bundavida. And he thought, I wonder if this is the same guy. So he called me and told me about it. I said, get that film. Get that film. That could have been up in the trash. The guy was going to toss the film and keep the metal reel that it was on. And it's the only known footage of the guy. And with that movie was the only known footage of his mentor, the founder of Bundavida, J.B. Jones.
Wow.
Everything else those things weren't meant to hang around. They traveled around the country. They showed the film in packed houses, and when they worn out, they tossed them. So the fact that this thing even survived, it's like I said, it was a serendipitous moment. And things like that is what has helped me build this collection, because I guess I'm sending out this stream of consciousness that people aren't even aware of, and they're seeing things and they're picking up on things. And that's what I want to get out to anybody. If you know of anything or anybody in a situation like that, that's been around for a while and they may have something. They just sold a house in up north. I was reading about it, like a $300,000 farmhouse. And in this ante room, they found stockpiles of old NutriBio products from the 50s, the powders and the tablets and all this kind of stuff. And they were going to chunk them. So it's crazy the way all this happens. But my gosh, I mean, help me help the profession. Let's get this stuff out there so everybody can see it and experience it.
I got to find this lady in Longmont, man. She came to my office and she said, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Yeah." So she said, "The craziest thing happened to me." I said, "What's that?" She goes, "My dad's like getting ready to die." I go, "I'm very sorry to hear that." And she goes, "Oh, he was a network marketer all his life." And I go, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, I've split up all the money with you kids." And I'm kind of making up this story to make myself the hero here. So about half of this is true. So she goes, "I split up all the money with the kids." And he said, "But I want to give you my most valuable possession." So he was either in someplace, not like in Longmont, in another city in Denver or another state. And she went all the way there knowing that she was going to get the big diamond ring or the box of gold. And for his most valuable possession that he gave his daughter was all of his network marketing notebooks over the years. So I swear to God, that's true. But you think about that, and you just made me think about it. And that probably was his most valuable possession. And she had no idea of the value or the richness of it. So she came to me, and because I'm so shallow and arrogant, I didn't really grab him and say, "Let's give him to Ron Henley," or "Let's keep him here so we can actually put him someplace." So I'll go find that woman, because you are actually 100,000,000% right. And that's just a beautiful thing in all of you. I mean, I had a doctor, that medical doctor this morning, and he said, "My mom and dad were Amway all my life. And that's why I'm out here talking to you today, because I'm in the emergency room. It is absolutely a blind alley. I hate it. And I'm hearkening back to those days, and I want to know what to do." And I gave him a couple books and told him to take them home. But so many people are remembering what their mom and dad went through in those days when $100 meant something, and they had to go actually make it, and they didn't know how to do it, and they grabbed multi-level marketing like people are today. It's a beautiful thing, Ron, and you are doing unbelievable work.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Like I said, I think it's a calling. I can't not do it. And when we get this museum up and running, it's going to be something else.
Yeah. So talk about what you're working on with the museum right now and where you are in that process, Ron.
Well, luckily I live in a little town called Lithia Springs. It's about 10 miles outside of Atlanta, so it's not that far. And I'm looking to move it out of here into a pretty good sized climate controlled storage facility. So we can really spread out, take a look at what we've got, be able to display what we got. You got to start somewhere. And this was Larry Thompson's idea, and I love it. So when new things do come in, we have a work area where we can repair, clean, whatever we got to do to get things ready for display, and just start building it from there. And another thing, it's only about 6 miles from Six Flags. Wow. So, if you want to come out and see the museum and go spend a day at the park, hey, That'd work out just fine. But that's the next step, is we're going to move it into that climate controlled where, because some of this stuff, if it gets too hot or if the humidity gets to it, it's gone, so it's got to be climate controlled. And I've got a place that I'm talking to now, and they're trying to figure out how to configure some space for me. But that's the next step. So keep me in your prayers that works out.
One of the things that our profession needs badly is a powerful association.
Yes.
That is a powerful association. That isn't anything but a powerful association for the betterment of the profession. And there's been a lot of them over the years. There's still a few of them around, but one of them started from the ground up with the right foundation built, that was built the right way without agenda or politics, to protect those people coming in to a profession that has been so wonderful of all of us, and having your organization be the foundation for that, with the experience of all the people that the Richard Brooks of the world, the John Milton Foggs, the John Hammocks, your little crowd of Roberti and McCormick and Weisberg, just the pioneers that show us exactly how it was, how it is, and how it could be if we do it with integrity, would really, really be something that I would be interested in. And I know that the profession would be interested in, and I know company owners would be interested in supporting. So let's think about that one of these days and do a big call. But we'll be back right after this. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show. Whoa, that was a long sentence. Sorry about that. But it just came into my head, man. It would be phenomenal to do something like that. Underneath it. Yeah, you're exactly right, Sean. Where we got a really, really clean organization without all the dealing off the bottom of the deck that inevitably happens with any association. We could put something together, starting it as a seedling to build.
Into this profession, I think the thing started 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They don't know that we're in our, 75th year.
Yeah.
When this thing actually started in 1945. I mean, we're not talking about direct sales. That's back in the 1800s with Watkins and all that stuff. But when the Meitinger and Castleberry started this, the real thing, Renborg started it. He's the one that laid the foundation for it, a very loose framework, because he only had about 40 distributors at the time, and he was trying to motivate his sales force to get out and sell product and bring people in. So he started this thing where he started offering discounts and small overrides, not having a clue. He was just throwing mud at the wall, hoping it would stick. When Meitinger and Castleberry came in and signed a contract with him September 1st, 1945, that's when the plan, as they called it, really got this thing going.
Okay, so you got to hold up a second, because we're in the show, and I want them to hear on that on the radio.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna have to say that all again.
Not a problem.
Yeah, talk a little bit, because I really want to hear that on the
radio.
radio.
I got a bunch of show and tell stuff, so I got artifacts all over the place. So.
All right, you're doing beautiful.
That is so cool. So just as we got about 2 minutes before we're back on the radio, but the thing that sticks out to me is, you think about these things that you've been collecting, Ron, and in so many ways, the relationships that you've built, you can view it almost the same way, right? We're collecting these. We have this collection of people in our lives that are so, they're priceless to us, and that it's so easy, just like that, stack of tapes or that old conversation or whatever. It's so easy just to let that stuff fall by the wayside, and then it's gone. And once it's gone, you can't get it back. And it's so worth it to remember and document these conversations and these people that you're meeting along the way, because you never know where that conversation that happened today is going to open up an opportunity and a new connection or a new collaboration or whatever that looks like in the future. And I just, I'm so inspired by what you have done because of that, because I think that's what we all want to be in the world. We want to be that person that, when we come to the end of our life, that we look back on all those relationships and we're proud of the contribution that we made. And, we're not dying alone because we didn't keep up with anybody and we just sat around and watched Netflix or do, the stuff that it's easier to do that than it is to remember these people. But remembering pays off every single time because it creates so much opportunity and so much contribution. And so I just want to thank you for that, Ron, and the reminder that those relationships matter. And it's really cool to see that, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Yeah. All right. We're going to come back to the radio.
And hello, everybody. It's Tom Chenault. It is the Network Marketing Leadership Show, sponsored by contactmapping.com/free. My little boy, Adrian, and I here talking to Ron Henley. I'm so proud of Ron Henley and so happy my son is here to hear this show, because understanding where this thing's come from is probably going to give us a chance to understand where it's going. And before we get to your big reveal, where do you think the profession's headed, Ron? Are you unbelievably excited about it right now?
I am. I think that we went through some changes, and there were some things that especially Larry pointed out. He called it the 4 generations of network marketing. And you can go find that at wealthbuilding.pro. And he lays it out beautifully. I'm not even going to try to copy the master because he's got it down. But we've gone through some things, and I really believe with the gig economy and everything else that's going on, I think the profession is in for its finest hour. I really do.
That's cool. Talk about, okay, so you got a secret that only one person knew, and let's hear it.
Well, the one person that knew was Larry.
Of course.
So it's really funny because in the comments here, somebody posted that, Ron, you need to make a documentary. Well, Atlanta, Georgia has become the East Hollywood. 4 blocks over from my house, they're filming a TV show.
Wow.
All around me. I mean, this is just everywhere. They're always filming all kinds of stuff. So there it is, Winnie Arnold. She's the one that said it. That was her. So what I have been doing for a while is writing a loose script of how this thing needs to play out, people playing it. But you need a core story to build it around. And I finally found that core story, and I sent it over to Larry Thompson, and I said, read this and tell me what you think. And he was absolutely blown away. It was an article that somebody had written about NutriBio back in the 50s. And that could be the centerpiece that everything else can branch off of to tell this entire story. Wow. Flashbacks, flash forwards. So 3 days ago, I met with some people who are into producing documentaries, and they're giving me some direction, and they're wanting me to do what they call a treatment for it. So I'm getting serious about getting down and getting all this together. And hopefully, if we get this thing done right, we'll be looking for people to play, Jim and Earl and all these guys on the big screen.
Isn't that exciting?
That's so cool. Holy moly.
And you've got the foundation for it already built in there. So it will be an actual documentary with actual facts about what's going on instead of a bunch of hype. That is so very exciting. What's the website to go join the big one?
Networkmarketinghistory.com.
Networkmarketinghistory.com. Yep. And there's a contact you button on there. So if they do have some memorabilia that they want to donate to you, that good.
Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter, so you'll get all the newest, latest updates. Plus, all of my contact information is at the bottom of the page.
How cool is that?
That's so exciting. And yeah, just to see all those stories and all those legends and how this all came to come to life in that way is going to be really exciting. I can't wait for that.
Next week on the show, when you hear the story of Armand and his mom and how he got into network marketing as a young child too, just exactly like Ron Henley, I will tell you all with small children, the education that you give your kids, because every day with these kids too, was take your children to work day. There was a guy named Robert J. Sterner, and he owned a Rolls Royce when he was a little kid, and you paid $20 a month for this lunatic's tape of the day. And every morning I had the kids and I'd take them to school and they wanted to listen to Winnie the Pooh. And I'd throw in that case CD, and all of a sudden, good morning, Tom Chenault, at the top of his lungs. It was this guy named Robert J. Sterner, and he would pump these kids up and me up so much. But
he would personalize the tape, and he would say your name over and over again.
Oh,
that was what was so like, hello, Tom Chenault. Tom Chenault, you
Very
are
cool.
it was awesome. I love the guy. He made me what I am.
Yeah.
And it helped these kids. He'd have been just an alcoholic.
It is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to give people a sneak peek at some of the stuff that I've got back here?
You got
Yes.
1 minute, so fire it up fast.
Okay, well, we can get started. This is an original Neutralite bottle from the 1940s.
Cool.
Holy moly.
Wow.
And they also sold protein powder. So, you've got that.
From the 40s.
Yeah. And then from Neutralite came Abunda Vita.
Wow.
That's the only bottle I've ever been able to find of Abunda Vita. After Abunda Vita came NutriBio.
Wow. Unbelievable.
And since we've only got a minute left, we'll leave it there, and I'll show a little bit more when we get back.
All right. This is very, very cool. And my wife even, she's watching this and she's not even commenting on my hair anymore because she loves your content. So that's beautiful news. And I'll tell you what, all of you need to go to that website, sign up for the newsletter, ask around your town and see if there's, somebody says my parents were in network marketing. Say, yeah, really? Do you like it? No, I hated it. Do your parents still have any of those tapes left? Yes. Send them to me because I want to send them down to Ron Henley, because I'm telling you what, we've got a profession to preserve. And this guy is the man to do it. He's got the pockets of giant people in network marketing behind him to pull this off. I'm behind him 1,000%. He's never shown an agenda to me whatsoever. We can trust him. He is a friend of the show, Ron Henley. Next week, Armand's coming on here. It is going to blow your mind. I'm really excited. When you hear his story, it's going to blow your mind. Let's make network marketing great again. That's all we can say. We'll see you all next week. All right, we are back and we're done. It's a show after the show. Show us some more stuff. You can even cuss.
Yeah. I just brought some stuff over here. Let's see what we got. This isn't going to necessarily be in order. This is from Costco. This is a Think Mink Award that they gave their people that sold X amount of cosmetics back in the day from Glenn Turner.
They called it the Think Mink. Is Glenn Turner still alive?
No, he passed away about a year and a half ago.
I'll be damned.
I've got his entire Dare to Be Great system that they sold for $5,000 back in 1969. I've got the entire thing.
Wow.
But let's see, where were we at? Here's something cool from Holiday Magic. This is a little coin with William Penn Patrick's face on it from May of 1967. That was given out at the convention back in the day. And let's see, here's a neat something. See if I can get this up to the camera where we are. You're not going to be able to read it. It says Glenn Turner. When you click it, it gives like a little history.
Holy mackerel.
Whoa.
A little history of Costco. I've got one of Jim Rohn's original business cards. I don't know if you can tell, but it's raised JRP from Jim Rohn Productions.
Yeah. Wow.
Here's an old picture of Jim that people don't see very much. From his Adventures and Achievement days. And a little thing on the back. I was wanting to show this to people because just like Barnes wanted to go into, he talked about in Think and Grow Rich, how he wanted to find a unique way to go into business with Edison. I wanted to find a unique way to go into business with Jim Rohn so I could thank him for all that he did for me. And this is how I do it. This is how I did it. The Earl Show of How to Become a Millionaire. As far as I know, there's only 2 in existence that Jim signed. He signed. I gave him the very first one that was ever minted. This is the second one. He signed it for me on his 75th birthday. And I gave the other one to Jerry Haynes, which is a longtime friend, has probably spent more time, other than Larry Thompson, Jerry Haynes has spent more time with Jim on stage than any other human being on the planet. So, but I've just got here's back in the days, I always thought it was funny you could sell health products and smoke, but here's an ashtray with the NutriBio ad on it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good.
Look at that phone number, WA14660.
Wowie.
And this is from Best Line Products. This is what Larry Thompson started selling in 1968.
He looks like a Ziff man.
But yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of people don't even know this exists. Zig Ziglar talking about holiday magic.
Wowie. Yeah, I'll hook that. We're going to chase down those guys, man.
And then this is one of my most prized possessions. This is a record of Earl Schoaf from NutriBio, special release.
Is there any audios out there, either with
yes,
that we can listen?
How to Become a Millionaire has been released. It's on YouTube on my channel. It's been seen over 1 million times.
I got to watch that. How to Become a Millionaire.
I found 2 more that he did at a high-level NutriBio meeting. You had to be making $25,000 a month in 1961 just to get in the room. So I've got those coming out as well. Plus, I've got the 35 millimeter film that I had transferred to MP4, and him and Dr. Jones both. It's I could talk about this stuff for days. Where we came from, how everything lines up, what came off of where. It's an amazing. Go get the Millionaire Training book and read that introductory chapter. That will give you a great idea of how I could have written a book this thick on it, but read that book. And if you have any questions, write me and ask me. I'll be glad to tell you.
So cool. What a gift.
Where do people buy where's the Millionaire Training book available? You guys have to read this book. I mean,
themillionairetraining.com.
Themillionairetraining.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I guarantee you, once you start reading it, themillionairetraining.com. Yep, that's it. Once you read it, I guarantee you're going to always keep it within arm's length. Get the Kindle version too and keep it on your phone. That's what I do.
Wow. We love you, man. And you are welcome back anytime. Keep us updated. A lot of people have expressed interest in doing some sort of fundraiser to get some sort of basis as an association underneath what you guys are doing. That might not be a bad idea. You know, you got the minds of a McCormick and of a Larry and Taylor and of all the people that you hang around with. You've got
unbelievably blessed.
Yeah, John, Milton Fogg, Brooke. A lot of people could really contribute to it only for making the profession better. And that's what we need to do. So let's just put that into existence as a thought and maybe make it come true. And we love you and thank you for coming on the show. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Ron.
Love you guys. Thanks.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.